Hello YouTube. This is my baby, my custom machine. In the last video, I showed you the inside of it and explained some of the story behind it and what I'm going to do to it. And now I'll power it on and show it to you software-wise. With my foot. As you can hear, the graphics card roars at you. It's a loud fan. Beep. This DVI monitor over here. Now the first boot drive is the 400 gig drive, which holds Grub on it, so that it can point to Ubuntu, of course, Memtest, and Windows 7. We'll boot up Ubuntu first. Now, every operating system that I have installed on here is 64-bit, which even though I have 2 gigs of RAM, I did that so that once I get the 4 gigs of RAM installed, I won't have to worry about, changing all my software and all that crap. It'll just be a little bit faster, and the 64-bit will actually, be worth it. So let's start. Oh yeah, I have probably one of the best keyboards I have ever used. It's the Microsoft Ergonomic keyboard. Even if you don't like their software, their peripherals are very, very, very nice. Especially, I have arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. And these ergonomic keyboards are perfect for that. You don't have to, do this or anything, as opposed to this, which is fully straight, so it's a little bit harder on my wrist. This is nice. It's very comfortable. Anyway, let's boot this up. Now, the 400 gig drive is the one that's hosting Linux, and I have a 20 gigabyte ext4 partition for the operating system. 4.5 gigabytes of swap. As you saw, that started up pretty fast. And I have the rest devoted to an XFS partition for the home. Now, I don't know exactly why the sound fucks up when it logs in. For some reason, it skips a little bit. I don't know why. These are my speakers, by the way. JBL Creature speakers. These speakers sound fucking fantastic. So I'd recommend them to anybody. Plus, you turn them up and down by the static in your fingers. It's kind of cool. As you can see, I have Ubuntu 10.04 running on here, which I'll likely be sticking with for a while since it's a long-term support release. I've been calling it long-term service for some reason. I don't know why. But this background is gorgeous. I love it. There's all my stuff. It all works. I got a glass of wine, yeah. I got something else and then a bunch of other stuff. Open Office. As you can see, I have. Thank you to the YouTube viewer who told me about this program, GUVC View. This apparently is a hell of a lot better than Cheese. So I haven't plugged in a webcam yet to try it out yet, but I'm probably going to sometime in the future, and I'll let you guys know how that is, definitely. So thank you to whoever did that. I can't quite remember the name right now. But yes, this is a 64-bit version of Ubuntu, this is currently the only machine that I have that has a 64-bit version installed. The Dell Mini 10V has the 32-bit version installed, obviously, because it's not a 64-bit processor, and it has 2 gigs of RAM, so you wouldn't need 64-bit in the first place. This, however, does have 2 gigs of RAM, and has 64-bit installed, but I'm getting 4 gigs in the future, so that's not without reason. Do I have wobbly windows enabled? I forget. Let's check it out. Put it on extra. Yay. Woo! I'll tell you, when I go into an operating system that doesn't have wobbly windows, it doesn't feel quite the same. They should really introduce Compiz Fusion to every operating system. In some form or another. So let's restart and go into Windows to show you what that looks like. we go. Beep. T-Series. There's Grub. Now let's point to the 250 gig hard drive, which hosts Windows 7. Here we go. And these are the lights. Nice blue lights. You can see the hard drive light lit up right there. It's quite nice. Also, specs of this machine. It has an AMD 4800 plus, AMD X2 4800 plus, 2.4 gigahertz, I think. Yeah, 2.4 gigahertz. 2 gigabytes of RAM. I already told you about the hard drives. I have one 400 gig and one 250 gig. I have one DVD writer and one DVD reader, a floppy drive, and the dead DVD drive up here, which was killed by Windows Vista, believe it or not. Yeah. If any of you guys have questions about that, I can make a video on it if you really want me to. But anyway, here we are. Era. That icon's pretty cool. Windows 7 runs beautifully on this computer as well. This computer seems to run any operating. This computer seems to run pretty much any operating system beautifully. And I just installed Windows 7 on this computer as well, like just yesterday, so I haven't disabled all my IM clients from opening as I start up. Hell, I haven't even entered like half my crap into this computer, so it's a fresh install of Windows and a fresh install of Linux, so both are running pretty snappy. Now, of course, Linux runs a little bit faster because it's, a little bit lighter on the system than Windows is. But, nevertheless, Windows runs beautifully on this machine as well. So I have that sitting on the 250 gig drive, the 5-year-old 250 gig drive. So now I'll show you this shutting off. There you go. That's my baby. I've been faithful to it for about almost 5 years now. It's really about 4, but come December this year, it'll be 5 years old. And I might rebuild this thing at some point. I'm planning on rebuilding this computer once USB 3.0 becomes standard. And I don't mean standard as in, you get like two USB 3.0 ports and the rest are USB 2.0. I mean USB 3.0 across the board, when that's as standard as USB 2.0 is today on motherboards, where every single port is 3.0. That's when I'm going to rebuild. Because I don't see a point otherwise. Because I'll just be rebuilding, making a faster computer with, and I transfer a lot of data, so I have no real reason to rebuild unless I want better data transfer. And that would be USB 3 and SATA 3. So, yeah. That's my baby. I love that computer. So, yeah, that was a tour of my baby. Have a good one, everybody. Ciao.